What up, YouTube Leagues? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today, we have something very special for you guys. We have a best of 3 tournament series featuring the SC Evo Complete mod played by a couple Grandmaster level players who you may recognize. This is hosted by the StarCraft Evolution League, or the SEL. I believe this is their 7th tournament that they are hosting. At the very least, the replay pack was titled SEL number 7. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our blue StarCraft 2 Protoss player Geralt going up against his opponent. Spawning on the top right-hand side of the map, it's our orange Brood War Terran player Matvient, also known as ZaRDieNT. So if you're not familiar with the SC Evo Complete mod, this mod puts Brood War and StarCraft 2 into one game using the StarCraft 2 engine. It's absolutely sick, and the fact that we're covering a tournament series with Grandmaster level players, I feel so privileged to be here, man. It's so sick. I expect these guys to put on a really good show. ZaRDieNT with the scout. We'll see what Geralt is up to. More or less, one adept already on the field will take out this scouting SCV. Keep in mind, the Brood War SCVs have 60 HP, which is kind of wild to me. Really changes up the meta. One other thing about the meta that I think I see developing with Brood War Terran specifically is they build a bunker almost all the time, and you have to keep in mind your wall-off options are a lot more limited with the fact that you can't burrow your supply depot. Now, what do we have here? Oh, interesting. So we have a forward pylon. We'll see if we have any sort of proxy play coming out from our blue Protoss player. Meanwhile, both players have already expanded. Taking a look at the worker supply, it is identical. Army supply is also almost identical. An adept has warped into the main base, and this is the issue I was talking about. You can't burrow your supply depots, so you have to kind of deal with potential adept harassment. This is the second game I've covered recently that is featuring this sort of harassment versus a Brood War Terran player. Ultimately, though, these SCVs kind of overworking, I want to say. Their job isn't to attack, their job is to mine, but nonetheless, they were attacking that adept, ultimately taking it out. And what do we have here? We have a forward Dark Shrine, and yes, I expected it. A gateway as well. We've got some Dark Templar cheese coming out from our StarCraft 2 Protoss player Geralt. This is going to be so sick. Couple stalkers poking the front door, trying to take out this bunker, forcing a small worker pull. 3 workers, that's not bad at all. That's actually the ideal number of workers you want to pull to repair a bunker, but ZaRDieNT unloading the bunker and moving forward, going for an attack of his own. This stalker running away. He's like, bro, I was just joking. It was a prank, bro. I am so sorry. The Dark Shrine is almost done, but we'll see if Geralt can do anything, because now he has pressure to deal with back home in the natural base location. The Dark Shrine is done. The gateway, the warp gate is also done. The proxy warp gate. Another shield battery being placed, followed by the pylon. One pylon was powering all this stuff, so I do agree with that. And here it is. We have some action. We've got 2 Dark Templar running both. It looks like one to the main base, one to the natural base location. Meanwhile, there's going to be an attack and a scan. This is an inopportune scan for ZaRDieNT, because he wasted the scan and he really needs it right now. Geralt trying really hard to prevent the turret from finishing in the main base for his opponent. Meanwhile, also dealing with an attack in the natural base location. This is insane. 2 kills on this Dark Templar. Do we have the Dark Templar here also ultimately will go down? How many workers were killed, though? 11 workers killed by our blue Protoss player, our StarCraft 2 Protoss player. I almost called him Protoss 2, which is kind of a cool abbreviation. Maybe I'll do that. Warp is also done, or sorry, Blink is also done on these stalkers. Oh no, this Dark Templar with 11 kills is still alive. will likely be able to run away just barely with the support of these Stalkers, though. I'm pretty sure this game is over. Taking a look at all the workers killed, ZaRDieNT throwing out the GG, giving game number 1 to Geralt. What a sick start to the series. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys for game number 2. All right, guys, welcome to game number 2 for our best of 3 SC Evo Complete Tournament Series. Let's go ahead and reintroduce our players. Spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's our blue StarCraft 2 Protoss player Geralt going up against his opponent. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our orange Brood War Terran player ZaRDieNT. One thing I should mention, though, that I didn't realize when I first started this cast is that this is a Brood War versus StarCraft 2 only tournament. There's no Brood War versus Brood War allowed. And that kind of makes sense. I understand Geralt's sadness, though, because seeing Brood War versus Brood War in this mod is super cool. But from a showcase perspective, I get it. You want to see how the versions of each faction fare against each other. So one person has to roll Brood War, the other one has to roll StarCraft 2. And to be fair, each version of the race has its advantages and disadvantages. For example, the warp gate capability for the StarCraft 2 Protoss versus the no warp gate capability for the StarCraft 1 Protoss is a huge difference. At the same time, the Arbiter from Brood War has a permanent cloaking field, and the permanent cloaking field for the Mothership has been taken away, and I am so salty and so mad about that. It didn't need to lose that ability, but whatever, I digress. And then, of course, the difference between the Brood War Terran and the StarCraft 2 Terran, there's many, but the fact that you can burrow your supply depot for the StarCraft 2 Terran and the Brood War Terran can't do that. That changes the wall-off mechanics completely. One other thing to mention about this map, which I find hilarious, is you're kind of walled in by minerals into your main base until you mine yourself out. Looks like Geralt already mined himself out because we have an expansion coming down for our blue StarCraft 2 Protoss player. I believe it's from this left-hand side of the mineral patch. Now, taking a look at what ZaRDieNT is up to, I don't think he's mined himself out yet. To be fair, though, as a Protoss player, or sorry, as a Terran player, you can build a command center and lift it off while you're mining yourself out. One thing, though, to keep in mind is this is kind of a safety net for ZaRDieNT. So if ZaRDieNT doesn't want any cheese to come to his base, he's pretty much safe until he mines himself out. What do we have, though? We have an hallucinated Phoenix flying towards the other side of the map, and we'll see that ZaRDieNT is not mining himself out at all. In fact, it looks like he may be going for some sort of one base all-in at this point. I mean, he's not bothering with an expansion at all, and this map, I think, kind of encourages that. What do we have? We have a control tower being built on this starport. We have a factory already done. We have the barracks. What is this? An academy. Okay, interesting. So I am curious what ZaRDieNT is going to do. Meanwhile, it looks like Warp Gate is being researched. There's a Stalker on the way as well. Oh, okay. So we have some cloak play coming out from our Terran player. This is going to be interesting. Do we have any sort of detection for Geralt? I don't think so. I don't think so. So this is going to be a one base all-in rush, I think. Let's take a look at the units really quick. What do we have? Okay, here it is. We have the Wraith already built, but the Wraith does get spotted. Cloak is being researched on this Wraith. Cloak is about halfway done. And Geralt is keeping his eye on these Wraiths. Let me see how he's responding to this load. Taking a look at the production tab, yes, he is building a robotics facility, but I think this robotics facility is going to be a little bit too late because Cloak is going to be finished in just about 4 seconds. Oh, no. Oh, this is possibly going to be a game-ending push. We don't have a Stargate. The robotics facility is only halfway done. And here they are, the cloaked Wraiths. The shield battery will keep these workers alive, but ZaRDieNT, I don't think he realizes that Geralt doesn't have any any detection to speak of. The shield battery making these workers a little bit more tanky, and the robotics facility is actually finished. The Observer is on the way. It's being chronoed, and it will come out. Taking a look at the workers killed, I think only one worker killed, and that was a huge commitment for our orange Terran player. To be fair, he has a lot of Wraiths, but Wraiths are kind of more of a harassment unit, in my opinion. I don't think they would do very well against Stalkers, especially not against Blink Stalkers, and Blink is just now finished. We'll see. We'll see how ZaRDieNT decides to use these Wraiths. I'm really curious. I mean, there's still the option of going Cloak against the Mineral line, and where are our Observers? There's one Observer in the natural base location. There's no Observer in the main base, though. A full evacuation of probes from the main base. 3 of them do go down. 4 of them go down. Taking a look at the worker supply, though, Geralt has workers to lose compared to his opponent, 39 workers to 29, and that is because this is kind of a one base all-in that we are witnessing. The scan, though, on the Observer. I'm so used to seeing cloaked Banshees, I didn't even think, I didn't even take a moment to think that the Observer would still be in danger from the Wraith, because the Wraith shoots both up and down. 14 workers killed in that engagement. Meanwhile, there is a push of Stalkers. 6 SCVs already going down. Taking a look at the total workers killed, 15 workers killed for each player. These Stalkers are looking mad aggressive, though. The blink on them will also help to keep them alive. ZaRDieNT throwing out the GG, giving the victory to Geralt. What a sick game number 2, but stay on this video because that was a short round, and I have another best of 3 series coming your way right now. All right, you guys, welcome to our next best of 3 round. This is from the first set of matches, so this is the first bracket. Let's go ahead and introduce our new players. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our pink StarCraft 2 Terran player Top, going up against his opponent. Spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's our purple Brood War Zerg player HunterOnToss. Once again, a high-level matchup, so I expect nothing but greatness. Zergling legs are on the way already. Both players have expanded, and the sunken colonies are also in place, or 1 sunken colony and 1 creep colony, which will likely become a sunken colony. One other thing to mention, I'm sure a lot of you are already aware, with the Brood War Zerg is there is no macro queen to speak of, so these extra hatcheries are required if you want to macro properly as a Brood War Zerg player. And a reminder, this is Brood War versus StarCraft 2 only, so the StarCraft 2 Terran will be playing in StarCraft 2 fashion. I wonder what we're going to be seeing for game number 1. A reactor being built on this barracks. Are we going to see a 2-base all-in, dare I say? These sacrificial Zerglings will see what are a ton of Marines and a reactor on this barracks. So HunterOnToss scouted what he needed to see, and we have a bunch of Zerglings coming out from all these hatcheries except 1 in reaction to this. And, you know, 1 drone. But, you know, you gotta build workers, right? And a 3rd base coming down. So HunterOnToss isn't really scared of what he just witnessed. I would be terrified. I don't work well under pressure, and seeing that comp from my opponent, a bunch of Marines and a reactor in a tournament match, and my hands would freeze. I would start being like, you know, I'd start hyperventilating. I'd be like, ha-da-da, ha-da-da-da. So we'll see. We'll see how HunterOnToss deals with this. Stim pack is just now finishing up. I think Top is just in this to win at this point. He's like, okay, let me just push my opponent out of the game and move on to the next bracket. I think that's what Top's idea is. Stim pack immediately going down. These sunken colonies were not creep colonies either. That is rough. Now, the positioning of these Marines will allow the Zerg to get a good surround. with the Zerglings, but now, just as I said it, the Marines are moving around. 8 drones going down in this engagement so far. On the mini-map, we see more pink moving across towards the purple side of the map. These Marines doing a lot of damage. I would maybe focus fire the Hydra dead if I could. I mean, the stutter stepping at this point, yeah, those Marines were going to go down. 8 workers killed in that engagement, and another set of Marines running across to the Zerg side of the map, but I'm not entirely sure if this is enough at this point. I mean, we have a lot more Marines coming towards towards the purple side of the map. To be fair, a lot of Zerglings are going to be finished, though. How many Zerglings do we have on the way? 14 Zerglings on the way. How many Marines do we have on the field, though? 27. And with this crazy stutter stepping that we're witnessing, yeah, a lot of these Zerglings are going to go down. Look at all this. All these Zergling carcasses. Melee attack level 1 is going to finish up. That's going to help a little bit, but is it too late is the question. The hatchery in the natural base has gone down, and now it looks like Top is going for the main base, and taking out this spawning pool would be huge. To be fair, he does want to take out that sunken colony, but I don't know. Going for the economy also is not a bad move at all. 10 more workers being killed in this engagement, a total of 18 workers killed. Lurkers, though, finishing up, and the splash damage from the Lurkers will absolutely destroy all these Marines. Taking a look at the worker supply, though, 21 workers to 60 for Top, in favor for Top. That is crazy. At this point, I think HunterOnToss just has to push and pray. He has to hope that he has enough that he can just push his opponent out of the game. Burrow these Lurkers, man. Burrow them. Come on, come on. Great movement by this Terran player, man. It's outrageously good. The scan on top of these Lurkers as well will shut down this response. Well, not quite, actually. This Lurker with the 12 kills, the hero Lurker. What a goat, man. Going for the rock tower as well. This will allow for Zerg to kind of focus on a choke point. I don't think this rock tower shuts down the entire ramp. I think it only shuts down the right-hand side of the ramp, which would force the Terran to funnel into the range of the Lurker. If the Lurker was moved just a little bit forward. The Lurker's a little bit too far back for my taste. Meanwhile, though, HunterOnToss is replacing that natural base. He does have the 3rd base already finished, which is possibly going to save him if he's able to stay in this game. 1-1 is now finishing up for the Terran player. These Marines are out for Zerg blood. They are stimmed and running across the map. The preemptive scan, bro. So sick. He's like, I know this Lurker's gonna burrow right there. Let me just scan on top of it before it even does anything. What an outrageous play. That was so sick. The medevacs on top of this as well will be able to heal up the stimmed Marines. So crazy, man. Base number 3 in danger. 7. Now 8 more workers killed. A total of 26 workers killed so far. And I suspect that number is going to go up. These drones are like, we don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere away from here. Oh, man. Oh, and this expansion. Oh, man. I think the drones actually kind of gave HunterOnToss away. The cancel on that hatchery was a good move. A total of 31 workers killed in game number 1. Outrageous. And now Top is satisfied with the damage that he dealt. It looks like there was an attempt on the natural base location, but nonetheless, HunterOnToss throwing out the GG, giving game number 1 to Top. What a sick, sick match. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys for game number 2. All right, you guys, welcome to game number 2 for our best of 3 series. Let's go ahead and reintroduce our players because we have a bit of a switch up from game number 1. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our pink, now Brood War Terran player Top. So he did play the StarCraft 2 Terran in game number 1, now playing the Brood War Terran, going up against his opponent, spawning on the top left-hand side of the map. It's our purple StarCraft 2 Zerg player HunterOnToss. So they did trade the versions of the races that they were playing. should be an interesting game number 2 indeed. Game number 1 was so sick. Seeing these high-level matchups with these mods is so much fun. HunterOnToss is getting some scouting information. I think he may be paranoid after game number 1. He's like, I have to see everything my opponent is doing, but this Marine able to take out the scout for HunterOnToss. Nonetheless, we'll see what his opponent is up to. And we'll see a factory being built, a couple factories actually. So this is a little bit telling, going for a mech playstyle. I suspect we're going to see vultures. Now, what are those vultures going to be used for is the question. Likely going to be used for spider mines all over the map, as you should if you're playing with vultures. But this also doesn't necessarily guarantee vulture play. That's just my guess. Base number 3 coming down for our purple Zerg player. Zergling speed is on the way as well, just about halfway done. The bunker, as is meta in the natural base location. The supply depot as well will just wall this off a little bit more. I don't know. No, I don't think Zerglings can run through there, so they can only run through this left-hand side of the wall, I believe, and they will have to run through the firing line of 2 Marines in this bunker. And taking a look at the factory, we do see that there are going to be vultures coming out of these factories. Ooh, base number 3 spotted by this scouting SCV. This SCV is kind of a goated scout. The timing on that SCV is incredible. Metabolic boost is now finishing up. Ion thrusters also finishing up in just about 4 seconds. I like this, the spine crawler in the natural base location. HunterOnToss realizing something fishy is going on, potentially. Oh, will the Zergling get the SCV? No, the SCV does survive. And just as the Zergling goes down, the vultures move out. So I think this was out of vision for the Zerg player. This Overlord, oh no, we'll spot nothing. It's trying its best though. These Zerglings spotting the vultures. The stutter stepping all these vultures, and the fact that they have speed already done is actually insane. And instead of going for spider mines all over the map, it's spider mines in the main base for the Zerg player. The Queen tanking a lot of spider mine hits though. I think it will go down though. There's no way it doesn't. 2 workers killed in this engagement so far, I believe. 3 workers killed total this game by the Terran player, and now the main base is effectively shut down. And the fact that there are so many spider mines in the main base for the Zerg player is absolutely rude. This is hilarious. The Roach with Burrow researched will be able to dodge some of the shots for those vultures. And I think the vultures actually did they get hit by their own spider mines? I think they did. Taking a look at the resources lost, 1,200 resources lost by Zerg, 500 resources lost by Terran. So a slight lead for the Terran player. I almost said Zerg player. I was like, wait, that was wrong. These spider mines are going to spot everything. That's hilarious. I mean, their field of vision, I think, is a little bit less, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, actually. Yeah, pretty small, actually. So they're not going to see a lot, but they could see some stuff at the very least. Meanwhile, we have a siege at base number 3 for the Zerg player. The siege tanks, the StarCraft 1 siege tanks are so sick. This vulture at the front of the line, too, is flexing hard. 3 more workers killed in this engagement. Meanwhile, though, we have a bit of drama on the Terran side of the map as well. And the Roaches will heal faster when they're burrowed. This bunker will potentially burn to the ground. How many workers went down for the Terran player? Only 1 worker killed by the Zerg player. Potentially more. Base number 3 has gone down, and it looks like Top is retreating back home to deal with the infestation back at his home base. These Roaches are doing quite a bit of damage. 4 workers killed, but HunterOnToss wants to make sure he's playing efficiently as well. 1 or 2 of those Roaches, I actually can't tell, did go down. A few of them do manage to burrow, though. Some spider mines still kind of around the map. These spider mines not really doing much. I'm not even sure if HunterOnToss realizes that there's still spider mines in his main base. Not that they matter too much, but if he wants to start teching up on that side of his base, yeah, that might cause some trouble. Taking a look at the total workers killed, 9 workers killed by pink, 2 workers killed by purple. These roaches trying to run back home to the support of the spine crawler, most likely. The scan on top of all these burrowed roaches, though, and when they're burrowed, they're not going to be doing any damage. That's basically just free roaches for the Terran player. And the siege on the spine crawler. The spine crawler does go down. The Roach Warren is also in trouble. I think the Roach Warren will go down before the research is done. HunterOnToss throwing out the GG, giving game number 2 and the best of 3 series to top. What a sick set of matches. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.